SmackDown is on FS1 tonight. So make sure you program your DVRs, because if you have your DVR program the SmackDown, it won't tape. So make sure
thank you for that.
Yes, make sure you program your DVRs to FS1 to tape SmackDown tonight.
My TiVo knows my preferences, so it'll tape it anyway, but now I have to go in there and change it. It knows what I like.
I still can't believe you have TiVo, which is amazing to me. Old school, my friend. Old school.
I have 3. I'm so rich. This digital media channel. I may buy a 4th. Just put it upstairs. Do you know, honestly, why I have 3 TiVos?
Why do you have 3 TiVos?
When it came out, I got the lifetime subscription to it. TiVo hates me, though I give them tons of advertisement, because every time the machine breaks, they have to send me another one. They have offered me all these different packages. I want the old furbished gray one. It's the size of a VCR, but I'll take it.
And TiVo, like, they should be thanking you. They should be sending you a Christmas card every year, because you're keeping TiVo in business, Tommy.
Yep.
I mean, because you have 3 out of the 4 that are currently running in the United States right now.
Well, I mean, if I should become a Nielsen home, because the ratings will jump up tremendously. So you know what I've seen a lot of, and I heard there was a big outrage of the Netflix DVD cancellation. I know our very own, and I know this might shock our listeners, our very own Paul, he still will get the DVDs sent to his house. Wow. I went to my mom's to get the mail, and I see all these Netflix DVDs. It's like, this is still a thing, and Paul confirmed he's one of those still people.
I am very upset at the fact that Best Buy officially has said they're not selling any more physical media anymore. No more CDs, no more DVDs, no more Blu-rays. They're completely getting rid of all physical media. I still love physical media. When a band I like comes out with an album, I like to buy the vinyl. I like to buy the CD. And I still love DVD. WWE doesn't have DVDs anymore either. They don't put out new DVDs here in the States. I think they still do in the UK, but they don't put out any DVDs here in the States anymore. I think AEW still does. I know AEW just released on their website All In. The first ever All In is available on Blu-ray. But yeah, that physical media, Tommy, is completely getting phased out right now.
I know Impact's offering the limited run of DVDs for Bound for Glory, which was just off the charts. Here's, I go to a lot of sporting events. I just went to the Sabres game on Monday, and they offered a puck with both teams' logos, the date, and it was $20. And I was like, man, this is a cool thing. But because I've already been to so many stadiums, I didn't want to start it. I hate that I don't have physical tickets to any of these games. I really do, because yes, I'll have those memories, but I'll have I'm not like a big scrapbooker, but I have tickets, actual ticket stubs of my first ever match. And, yes, you could get stuff like that printed out. It just bothers me that the physical tickets are not involved. I know you get laminated stuff, but they're a pricey thing. Or, how many times for myself, hey, can you sign my ticket? Which is proof that I was there. And then, oh my gosh, I, got somebody's autograph. I love that, something to touch. I'm reading books still. I don't have, audio books. It's just, and I have behind me a complete collection of so many wrestlers' books. I just really like that. That's me personally. But I feel there's going to be generations of people who don't know that experience, or like you, when I saw your excitement when you were opening up the Terry Funk album, and then you're like, oh wow, look at this. It's like a scrapbook involved.
Yeah.
These little things are going to be lost for what? Because of technology?
Yeah. I guess because of smart TVs and because of phones, you don't need the physical. And, it's a lot of people right now love that space saving, and I get all that. For me, and this is the old man talking, and this, I'm not hating on that. If you prefer to watch it on your phone or your smart TV, that's fine. I'm not saying that it should be this way. I'm just saying the way that I prefer. I like physical media. I don't feel like I own it, Tommy, unless I can hold it in my hand. So if I've downloaded something on my phone, I don't feel like I actually physically own that, because I just feel like, hey, if something ever happens to my phone or something, that's lost. That's now gone. Like if I have a physical copy, and you know what? I am a scrapbooker. I have a ton of scrapbooks here in my office. I have Tommy, and I'll pull it out at some point. I have a big box full of ticket stubs from all the wrestling events that I've gone to.
Awesome.
Like, and I just love opening it up from time to time and just kind of like going through it. Like, and there's shows that I've completely forgotten about. There's shows that I thought I watched on TV, and then I realized I actually went there because, Tommy, obviously me covering this show for the last 15 years, but being a fan for over 40 years, I've gone to a lot of pro wrestling events. I love the fact that I have those stubs, and I've kept every stub from every wrestling event that I've gone to. So even like when I've gone as a person of media and I've gotten like the comp tickets, I've kept those too. Like I keep it. And then the same thing with, like, I'm a big Alice Cooper fan, big Kiss fan. I have all my ticket stubs from Alice Cooper and Kiss to a point, because like you said, Tommy, the last few Alice Cooper concerts I went to, there was no physical ticket. It was on my phone. I'm going to see the re-release Dawn of the Dead, and I'm going to see Dawn of the Dead, right? In the movie theater. That's on my phone. Like, you don't even get like a ticket for that. Even sometimes when you go to the movies, they scan your phone. It's a different world, but I love the physical copies. And especially going back to the point that we originally made, the DVDs. I love having those DVDs. Why? Because I'm sure with Bound for Glory that Impact is going to release, there's extras. There's maybe some matches that you didn't see, or maybe in interviews or behind the scene footage that you didn't get to see on the pay-per-view. A lot of times on the DVD, they release those types of material, and now you don't get that because you don't have that physical copy anymore. I said a lot there. Sorry.
No, but you're right. Hey, I still have the program from the White Plains Westchester County Center, the first show I ever saw. And that day molded me as a human being because of, Bob Backlund snubbing me for an autograph. And I always try and always have tried to sign for everybody because I remember how that felt. Or I have the program of when I saw Dusty Rhodes and Bugsy McGraw wrestle Ivan Koloff and Dick Murdoch. It wasn't autographed. I went through that thing like crazy. I actually think there's a yodel stain on it as well from my thumbprint because I was probably eating yodels. And but what I'm trying to say is, man, like that day I drove home and I told my dad, this is what I have to do for a living. I have physical proof of that day. And the business card Johnny Rods handed to me to join his wrestling school, the first ticket of my first ever show. I have somewhere the first ticket of me main eventing at the ECW arena. And I'm a wrestler. I know what it feels like to be a fan, and I know what it feels like to be a wrestler. Also, when you deal with your phone, I'll tell you, I've had an insane schedule. I went to Denver. If anyone's ever flown to Denver, you got to go downstairs to go into TSA. The Wi-Fi was not working. They would not let me get on my plane. I had to step out of a line, and even though I'm clear TSA pre, there was at least 900 people waiting online, and clear was off the charts, like long.
Yeah.
For the one time I never got a physical ticket. I always get a physical ticket because you can't rely on your phone. Or this past weekend, flying from Chicago to Buffalo, if anyone's ever been to O'Hare, it's kind of a mess. If you got to rent a car, you got to take a tram, and you got to find what gate you got off your terminal. I got there about 2.5 hours early. My app changed the gate 4 times. My ticket never did. Guess where I flew out of? The original ticket. And I was like, I just sat at a Starbucks Actually, me and Bubba sat at a Starbucks and had a long conversation, which was really cool because we haven't spoken like that in a long time. Kind of started with the Hall of Fame, and we had a great conversation with Mike Tenay. And then we had a really, really good conversation at Starbucks, which is cool because our relationship has definitely been stretched like his pants. But what I'm trying to say is my app kept on, and if you're in O'Hare and you got to go from J to B, you're putting on your walking shoes. I mean, it's a long trek. My physical ticket never changed the gate. About 30 minutes in, it came up right where I was. So there's something to being old and having that physical stuff with you, because if those phones crash or your battery dies, you're screwed.
Yeah, I always, like, when I go to an airport, I always print out the physical ticket. But you mentioned programs, and that's another lost thing when it comes to pro wrestling, Tommy, is the program. I used to love buying those programs when I would go, and they would tell you all the matches that were going to happen that night. And Tommy, I gave you one of the programs from, was it
Yep.
December of '85, when Hogan wrestled Big John Studd in the main event, because we were both at that event. And I was like, it meant more for me to give that to you than to actually have it myself. But like, you could go back and look at that program and go, oh, wow, I forgot that. I saw, like, I was looking back at a program of an event that I went to in July of '84 for the WWF. And I was thinking in my head, did I ever physically see Mil Mascaras wrestle? And then I looked, and at that event, he wrestled Pete Doherty at the Meadowlands. I completely forgot about that. How did I remember that? And how did it jog my memory? By looking at those programs. And I still have all my old programs. I have a program, Star Wars '85, with the first time that the AWA and the NWA did a show together at the Meadowlands. And I have Ric Flair has signed that program. Nikita Koloff has signed that program. I had Gary Michael Capetto, who was the ring announcer that night, signed the program. Jimmy Boogie Woogie Man Valiant has signed the program. Greg Gagne, who I got when I got inducted into the Hall of Fame in Albany, he inducted his dad. I had him sign the program. Why? Because I had the physical copy of that program. And now, like, think about that. That's worth a lot of money, because I have 6 or 7 different signatures of wrestlers in that program. And it means something to me, because I remember my dad buying me that program. And like you said, with the program that you were talking about with the Yodel State, I must have paged through that program over the last, 30 something years, at least 100 times.
If you look at memorabilia, sports memorabilia, wrestling memorabilia, the business is as big as ever, but like, why? It's a personal connection to an event. And also people want, hey, why do people want certain items? But, programs, thing of the past. Match card rundown, thing of the past. I know I just got a program from the Jets Broncos game, and it's a thick ass book, but it's a lot of advertisements, and it was free handing it to me, but I already kept it. I haven't thrown it out because it was a fun day. But what I'm saying, again, don't have those items lost, because if you really do think about it, there's all these things that in 10 years from now, you cannot say I got a ticket stub autographed by Roman Reigns or, MJF. You
Yeah,
can't say that anymore. And programs as well. Even if they did it on a limited run, it would totally up their value.
absolutely.
I've gone, Mets were horrible this year. Every game that they had a giveaway was packed. I have a Buck Showalter rain jacket, and the bobbleheads is like they were pure gold. And then the next day they were all on the market, because, hey, if you go to the game, it's something special. And then you have fans that can't go to the game, but they want these items. Think if these items were signed.
Well, and the other thing, going back to the DVDs, and I know I've showed this to you before, but like, Tommy, I have, like, me being such a huge Ric Flair fan, I have 35 DVDs of Best of Ric Flair. And they are all that I converted from my VHS tapes. Like, I had a VHS collection, and then I converted all those VHS tapes to DVD. I know I write such a
No, because what it means is you went through these VCRs and then like stopped for your Ric Flair matches and then said, I got to convert this to DVD.
Yeah, and I converted it to DVD, and I had a buddy that said, oh my God, what a loser. Like, you could get all that stuff on YouTube, which is true, Tommy. Not everything, but again, and I'm sure people know what I'm talking about. How many times have you gone to go and you've seen a match on YouTube, then you went back to look at it again and it's gone? Like it was copyrighted, or maybe the person that uploaded it, deleted it. Now that match that you were able to go to YouTube and watch is now gone. Me having it on DVD, it lasts forever. Like I'll be able to always go and watch those matches whenever I want to. And I don't have to worry about it being deleted or it being copyrighted. I own this. It's physical. I can watch it anytime that I want.
As someone who's goes to a lot of concerts now, especially with my, daughters, those concert sweatshirts, those concert t-shirts, big bucks.
Yep.
My daughters would never get rid of them. My daughters would never want to sell them because, and I'll see it, they'll sleep in that, I have to usually go for a t-shirt and a sweatshirt. And they wear it until it's, hey, you need to put that away. It's got to be washed because you slept in it for 5 nights. It's a memorable event for the rest of your life where you have something physical that you could hold on to. It's special. And I don't want to see generations of people not having them. Or it's just going to be a cleaner society because they won't have as much junk like you and I do.
Speaking of t-shirts, I know that one of your
Night of
Holy
Champions,
grails.
don't even talk about it. I had
Night
it.
of Champions. I know you did. I have a buddy, Chris Allo, who believes he has it. He's going through his stuff, and I told him, if you find it, tell me because I want to give it to Tommy. I don't care how much it costs.
Big bucks, Dave. I don't want you.
So I'm calling out Chris Allo right now. Let me ask you this, Tommy. If Chris Allo was able to find that shirt, or anybody, I'm leaving this out to anybody that could possibly have that Night of Champions t-shirt. And what it is Night of Champions 1984 Meadowlands Arena main event, Ric Flair, Ricky Steamboat. If anybody has that shirt, Tommy, would you be willing? Because I would be for you, because I know how much you want this shirt. Would you, if somebody were to give you that shirt for free, would you be okay having that person co-host with us for a day?
That's easy, sure.
So on a Thursday,
I was going to offer a lot more, but that's
no. If anybody has that Night of Champions t-shirt, if you're willing to give it up to Tommy Dreamer, I will let you co-host with me and Tommy on a show.
Nice.
I mean, that would be cool, right?
Very much so.
That's like a dream come true to a lot of Nation members, to be able to co-host a show with Dave LaGreca and Tommy Dreamer.
I was going to fly him to Vegas, but yours is easier.
Yeah, dude. Don't tell them what they could have possibly had. Let's focus on what
you get. Rice-a-roni.
I
will cook you rice-a-roni.
You would cook rice-a-roni? All right, so I'm putting out there to Chris Allo and anybody else that might have the t-shirt. Doesn't matter what size, Tommy.
Well, no, nothing will fit this girthy.
But I mean, you would, if you had the shirt, would you even wear the shirt?
No. I just loved, and again, an image. I recreated that shirt when I'm in an ECW shirt with the back because I loved it so much.
All right, so this is going to Chris Allo or anybody else who might have that shirt. If you have the Night of Champions shirt, Meadowlands, 1984, if you give it to Tommy, we'll let you co-host on Busted Open with us.
What would you say your most prized possession ticket and most prized possession program?
Well, definitely the Star Wars 85 program, which when we come back from break, I'll show you, and I'm sure they'll take a picture and post it. But without a doubt, it's the Star Wars 85 program for me.
I designed the Barely Legal and Hardcore Heaven programs based upon Night of Champions and WrestleMania, and loved doing it because I remember my WrestleMania program. Um, Lost my WrestleMania ticket on the train home.
Really?
Yep. My friend's my friend, his father, we went and we took Metro North, and I just, as you're a kid, you're always, this is also what, 80 something. You're excited, but you're also, hey, you're on the train, you got to pay attention, blah, blah, blah. And I guess I put my ticket in my program and it fell out on the train.
That sucks.
Yep. It's all
If
right.
I had to pick one ticket, it would probably be, and this is actually available on YouTube, but I have the physical copy as well. July 15th, 1984 is my 13th birthday. My family took me to see wrestling at the Meadowlands. It's my birthday, July 15th. And the main event was Roddy Piper versus Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
But how many people have their tickets of my blood that they used to put their tickets out at the arena, and I would just rub my head against all their fans, bleed on them.
That's
Different
awesome.
times.
That's awesome.